Totally awesome, just came out as a mate. That's it, that's the whole video, nothing can compare. This wins! The Duelist Cup is over and the results are in. According to Master Duel Meta, these were the top 10 most used decks, and wow, what a surprisingly dismal list. The first place winner was Emancipators, which indeed saw a resurgence in this event unfortunately. The two other most used decks in the top 10 were Runics, to no one's surprise, and to my surprise, Flu. I say to my surprise as barrier statues got hit, and despite being at full power last Duelist Cup, they didn't even place in the top 10. However, given that Flu is one of the few decks that Runic really does nothing against, complete with running D-Shifter, which screws over so many other decks, I guess it makes sense to use them for a bit longer. So if you didn't hate Runics enough, just know that them being there meant that Flu got to stick around for a little longer. Also, shout out to the one guy using Virtual Worlds. You're a rad dude. Oh. The ban list update is here. We'll go through these in order from what got free all the way up to what got banned. As far as what got freed, Wind-Up Carrier and Zen Mighty and ABC Dragon Buster are now at 3. The one guy playing ABCs is probably celebrating, but Wind-Up Carrier is a bit more interesting, as there's been a slowly building following for Wind-Ups as far as crazy combo decks go. So this will probably help that deck out a lot. Several cards also went to 2, like Sky Striker Ace Kagari, Divine Wind of Mist Valley, Spellbook of Judgment, Predaplant Ophrys Scorpio, and Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. Most of these are pretty understandable as the decks therefore aren't necessarily at the top of the charts or flat terrible like Spellbooks. However, Kagari getting put to 2 is huge for that deck, as it gives Sky Strikers a huge comeback potential. As far as stuff that got limited to 2, we have Card of Demise, Pot of Duality, and Aluber the Jester Despia. The former 2 were most likely done to hit a lot of the prominent stun and floodgate focused decks, most notably Runics, and Alubers are a big hit to branded Despia. Honestly, I feel as though the Demise and Duality hits are not the biggest / best they could have been. If Demise was at 1, or if it was this and another hit to Runics, that'd be something else. But I'm guessing Runics are still kinda new, so they're going a bit easy. And then going from 3 to 1 are both Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom and finally Block Dragon. In case you don't know, Supreme King overly long name was used in several big FTKs such as the super powerful Pendulum Magician FTK and the absolutely terrible Ignite FTK. I'm honestly glad it got hit to 1 as I'd rather it get hit or banned rather than have Electromite get banned, which is a card pen decks really need these days. And finally Black Dragon, did I say just Black? And finally, Block Dragon getting hit to 1 is a pretty huge deal right now, as Emancipators were the top deck used in the Duelist Cup as mentioned before. This card is seriously annoying. It's basically a Dragon Ruler but for rocks, and it getting hit to 1 does at least help somewhat, as now it gives another big choke point for Emancipators with Gallant Granite. So if you negate that, hopefully you shouldn't have any more trouble. As for the bans, there are none. Pretty surprising, given the last Duelist Cup had some pretty big hits, so it's a bit bizarre they opted out of banning anything super major. Hell, Union Carrier is still free to roam, which given it's banned in both TCG and OCG now is especially surprising. Also, where the hell is that grass looks greener? Did you not see all the awful deck lists? Do you not realize how tedious it is to sit through someone getting a second hand? Then again, if you recall last time, 2 weeks later into the first Duelist Cup ban list, they updated the ban list again to not only free up a lot of stuff, but also put the kibosh on Crystron Halqifibrax, the most complained about card in the game at the time. So there's still hope? Please? Konami recently announced a bunch of new additions to Master Duel at Jump Festa. In case you don't know, Jump Festa is a media expo put on by Shueisha, Shonen Jump's parent company. You'll typically see new anime announcements, new merchandise, video games and such based on their property. Think of it like Disney's D3 Expo, which I thought was a convention dedicated to the Mighty Ducks 3, but alas, we can't have nice things.
D3, the Mighty Ducks.
Anyhow, the new additions are another selection pack that's being released alongside the typical monthly selection. This one offering reprints of Sword Soul, Despia, and Ice Jade cards. So if you missed out on those, now's your chance. Especially as Branded and Sword Soul are still meta relevant. So they'll be pretty fun along with whatever else gets released. Also included in that new pack are a new Suship card where okay, I have no idea how Suship works, and seemingly no one else does, because when I asked what it does, this is all I got. I take their funky aesthetic though. And they also added Dynamorphia Rexstorm to the game, which is the big boss monster for Dynamorphia that really pushes the deck forward. And of course, that gets released right after I dismantled all my Dynamorphia cards because I needed to make stuff like Scareclaw. Thanks, Konami, you couldn't have brought them in sooner, like say, for the anti-spell event? They also announced Totally Awesome, which is the best announcement ever, a new card sleeve based on Dynamorphia, and a new icon in the shop based on White Relic of Dogmatica. And as the game won Best Multiplayer in 2022 in Asia, they're giving out a free card sleeve. And the last thing announced at the event was the introduction of a solo mode game based on the Mutant archetype, a TCG exclusive archetype based around banishment and negating. TCG exclusive archetypes frequently have some very upfront gimmickry, and while sometimes this works like for Dangers and Burning Abyss, sometimes it flops hard like War Rocks and Dream Mirror. Still, given as mentioned before, solo mode gates are a good chance to try out decks you might not try out otherwise. It could be kind of fun. They're also introducing the card Mutant to the game. Sorry, Punk Deer Note, Sprites, and Illusion of Chaos. Mutants are top priority. And that's all the updates for Master Duel. What did you think? What did you think of the ban list? Was it effective or not really? What cards are you excited about that'll soon come to Master Duel? What new features are you hoping for? Let me know in the comments, please subscribe, and go try Scareclaw. Seriously, I know I joked about this deck before, but it's seriously worth the cost. It's great.